Kanpai!
Kanpai!
Welcome, weebs, to this week's episode of Kanpai Cast. I'm not actually drinking my drink just a second, because I wanted to do a proper introduction. I noticed how often we say Kanpai, and we don't actually get on to doing the talk until after everyone's taken a good gulp.
I feel called out.
What? No, we all do it. We literally all do it.
I can talk
been doing it in the past
drinking.
as well.
I'm magic.
Yeah. You're right. Okay. I've been doing it as well, and I realized to myself, like, we shouldn't be doing this. But anyway, right. So this week, episode 85 of Kanpai Cast, we're going to be doing a studio showdown where we're talking across the board about various different studios. But first of all, we're starting with housekeeping. And hamming this up as I do. So we're going to do the usual things. You know, please like, comment, and subscribe. I know we're asking this a little early when we haven't barely started the show, but it all helps.
Comment YouTube's especially, algorithm. Man. I would love to read more comments, but there's just so few of them these days. Please, give me your comments.
Yeah, tell us how full of shit Xeno is. Wait, that's me. So that's what we're gonna. So please do this. It all helps.
Even make a few requests. See if we can fulfill a couple of things in these. In these opening sequences. Maybe you want something all read in an epic voice, or maybe you want to try and do a tongue twister for Xeno. Maybe you want Nasuth to perform a particular trick with his avatar.
I need to hook up some keyboards.
Do a thumbs up.
Well, I don't have my leap motion on yet, but if I had some keybinds hooked up for it, I could spin my head on my take off my head and spin it around. You know.
Still joking. Anyway, right. So moving on from that, don't forget we have a Discord server now. You can find a link in the description. You can chat with us there. Let us know, your thoughts and feelings on anime. And soon, the daily memes that are on just currently Twitter will also appear there as well. So, and then last but not least, as part of this week's episode, I'm actually reading this verbatim. As part of this week's episode, we'll be talking about the individual studios we commonly know. As such, we're now including the studio name under the show title located in the top left-hand corner of the screen. Unfortunately, this hasn't made it to all the shows in the Kanpai Cast vault. Honestly, this is due to a rather silly limitation imposed by IMDb, only allowing us to query their API 100 times per day.
And we have 500 something shows?
Oh, we have over 500, yeah. It's just like... But I mean, considering how many movies and shows and things there are in the world, IMDb limiting it to 100 per day? That's ridiculous. Twitter's 75 per 15 minutes. Anyway, so for the case of today's episode, we're discussing a particular... So if we're talking about a particular studio, you may wonder, hey, why isn't Kill la Kill being displayed when they're talking about Studio Trigger? Unfortunately, this is the reason why. So there's just going to be a bunch of stuff that haven't been properly allocated. And unfortunately, we just have to wait days for it to all properly curate. Yeah. So I think it is time for us to talk. To move on to our main topic, the titular topic itself, and start talking about various different studios and things. And I think the first studio I really want to talk about is actually Studio Trigger itself.
Trigger? Yeah, it's a good one. That's a good one.
I don't know about you guys, but personally I find with Trigger, they are very heavily underrated. Right? You don't think so?
I don't. Well, I mean, some of the stuff they've done is really popular, like Kill la Kill or even Gridman. I know you don't like Gridman, but it's done well enough to spawn a whole universe. They're doing the whole Gridman Dyna-Xenon crossover thing. Yeah.
But the weirdest thing is, I don't ever hear people go, oh my god, it's Studio Trigger, I have to check that out. I hear that about JC stuff, I hear that, shut up phone. I hear that about Studio Ghibli. Who else do I hear that about? I mean, he brings up the list.
Didn't Trigger do
MAPPA, Madhouse,
Cyberpunk?
Yes.
Yeah.
But still,
I guess people were excited about that for Cyberpunk and not Trigger.
Yeah, not the fact that it was Trigger. Like, how many people turn around and say, like, "Oh my god, you shouldn't be sleeping on Cyberpunk," right? Like, I don't know what it is about Studio Trigger, but it just feels like they're not a name that is typically.
It's more high. It's more in highbrow circles because they do stuff like Brand New Animal and even Kill la Kill. Even though Kill la Kill is got a lot of skin in it, right? It's not it's not a shallow story at all. It's really, honestly, a very deep story. Maybe that's why.
Also, the fact
maybe it's yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Also the fact that I think Studio Trigger has a very unique way of tackling everything, and one of the best things about Kill la Kill was how they did the recap episode, being it like the first 5 minutes of an episode, right? and that was it. It was over and done with, and they just got on with the rest of the episode. Yeah. Whereas, we've watched shows. One that comes to mind is Soul Eater, right? I can't remember who did Soul Eater, but with Soul Eater, the first, I think it was episode 5 or 8. No, I think it was episode 8. They did a recap episode, and then another the same recap episode with 2 different characters for episode like 13. Right?
Didn't that happen with Slime too, or it was something around the same time as the Gazebos? I don't remember which show it was. Was it 86?
This was Soul Eater with Studio Bones.
No, 86 had another issue, which was they did recap episodes because the studio could not keep up with production because of a COVID pandemic, or of a COVID outbreak, and then ultimately they just had to go, we can't. You're just gonna have to hit pause. We'll finish it next. So we'll have to get you guys the last 2 episodes in like a couple of months' time. So they had to stop. So
right, okay,
yeah. But I feel that Trigger's animation, I feel like it has a style like between each show. Like I could definitely tell the studio that did BNA did Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, because a lot of the colors are the same, and the shading, and like it's very similar.
It's especially with the contrast that they like to do.
But Gridman looks completely different.
Yeah, I didn't know it was theirs until recently. Right?
Kill la Kill also shares a lot of similarities with BNA and Cyberpunk, but is distinct enough on its own that it does look different. Yeah.
That was something I was going to get into, is Trigger do like taking on these stories that are, shall we say, overcoming some basic thing that we can all relate to in some way. So with Kill la Kill, it was it was more associated with the shame and fitting in and being different, being a rebel, all those kind of...
BNA, it's
being
an
the extreme
outsider
version of it. It's being the outsider in a world where everybody else seems to fit in and have these rules they follow just implicitly.
That's even in Cyberpunk,
Yes, it is. But and then there's you compare that to Brand New Animal, which is literally just exclusion and racism going on there.
But told in such a way that it makes it like it's so much more allegorical.
Definitely. It puts that mental distance between the original subject and what you're seeing on screen and makes it more entertaining because of it, without losing any of the actual emotional impact. It allows you to relate to it without thinking of any specific thing in reality that brings you down. And, there's, even things like that you wouldn't think of at first, like Little Witch Academia, which...
Oh, yes, there's...
Yeah, That's theirs. And again, it's
stuff like that.
Outside of going to magic school,
bills.
But yes, but they actually did approach that kind of genre of a girl going to a new girl's school and learning to be something when she's going there for a reason not a lot of other people would, and having a particular drive and goal that everybody else says is silly, and yet by following it through, she actually becomes better at what she's doing. She becomes a better person, and she actually brings up people around her because of it. So, yeah, they do approach these rather unique storylines by giving something that we can all relate to, and then just taking it straight into the stratosphere, quite literally in many cases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do we want to like contrast them with their roots as Gainax, or do we want to?
Yeah,
somebody
sure.
else?
No, I'm completely on board for that.
Because they did. Yeah, they are one of the ones that came out. That didn't Madhouse also come out of Gainax, or they?
No, Madhouse existed way before. Like Madhouse did the original Trigun.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. You do compare.
MAPPA's the one that came out of Madhouse.
Yeah. You comparing that with Gainax, you look back at one of the most famous Gainax creation is Xenogelion.
But see, I should have actually added some other stuff to the system now that I think about it. I don't think of Ava as much as I enjoy Ava. I think of stuff like Nadia and
that was literally the earliest one they did.
Yeah,
in terms of TV shows,
and in terms of story, it's way better. Like it deals with so many more things than Ava does.
You can see where the Trigger animation kind of started, because there's a lot of hyper-sized aspects to it.
I'm sure we have Nadia in the system.
I don't think we do.
I think. I thought I saw it.
I will have a look.
My point is, so you look at the way that they animated the Avas they take the movement of them. Everything was so really well done for how vast they are. Like, they're huge creatures, and they, for the very first episode, they step off of the So, but he stepped off of the launch pad, the elevator,
and the weight to it, like
the whole Ava just shifted him and thunk as it stopped being supported by the restraints, and that kind of weight, that kind of movement for something big, it really speaks of how much effort they put into the movement of other things, the lightweight nature of the fighting characters they make, the impact they gave some of the other big objects they did, like Kill la Kill. They had whenever something was large,
the massive rainbow satellite in Kill la Kill is totally inspired from one of the angels. And no, I'm kidding.
It is. But then, you can then take that on. They did, because when they were still you could see the Trigger people coming out of Gurren Lagann.
Yeah,
you could see that exact inspiration taking off, where the Trigger people said, "Oh, we like this. Let's do more of this." And
the Studio Trigger eyes. Everyone knows those eyes.
Yes, the Studio Trigger eyes, but also the Studio Trigger absolute to the moon scale of what they do. I mean, overall, Gurren Lagann was a small story.
They've always had that attention to detail too. I mean, even back in Evangelion, when the Ava goes berserk the first time, the sheer amount of detail it put into the animation, the sound design, all of that stuff, and that is clearly passed on to Trigger as well, because they also put just a massive amount of effort into the little details, and the little details make all the difference.
And you've even got the exact series. I mean, we had it on screen briefly in the background.
Fooly
Of Fooly Cooly.
Yeah. Even that one. You know?
That's one of my founding stories, because it's such a small story, but told in a way that's so absolutely out of this world huge.
It hints
the
at a much
setting's
larger
huge,
story.
the story's small.
We're only seeing the relevant section to Earth.
Yes, and also the relevant section to one character, really.
Well, yeah.
I think, to me, I think the problem is that over the years, Gainax itself is a studio that is basically synonymous with Evangelion, because realistically, that's all that's been coming out of them for Gainax. I know they've done things like Promare. I've not seen Promare, right? It's basically Fire Force, the movie, but I think it's supposed to be good. I've just never seen it, right? But I feel that Gainax, even though has done some brilliant stuff, like, heck, we just had Gunbuster on screen. I've also, while we've been talking, I've been updating the system. I wanted more than just Evangelion, for fuck's sake. But that's in part the problem, though, because Gainax is just so synonymous with Evangelion that it's what else is there to Gainax? And it turns out it's actually a lot.
I can't count the number of people I've told about Nadia, and they're like, "What now?"
Yeah,
and I'm like, you know, Disney's Atlantis. This is that before Atlantis. Like, Disney ripped off Nadia.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
or
that's
how about if you want, there's a couple of people that will, of course, immediately think, "Hang on, Gainax, aren't they the people that did Cutie Honey?" Because they're into that particular side of anime. Yeah. Cutie Honey was literally it was one of those frilly shoujo things, and because they're into shoujo, they'll have watched that, but they won't know that it's the same people that did Evangelion, because it's different.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
To your point, the things they do that aren't Eva very rarely get credited to them. What was it? They did the OVA for Appleseed.
Yes, we found that out just recently, didn't we? And I was like, my fucking jaw dropped through the floor. Like, that's them?
I imagine even a lot of people think Gurren Lagann is misattribute Gurren Lagann to Trigger rather than Gainax.
But that was just at the end of it, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was. It was right at that time. Yeah.
So,
but more recently, you've got things like Magica Wars, Wish Upon the Pleiades. They're more shoujo.
Yeah,
and it looks like almost like over the last 5 or so years of their production,
I think Anno basically went on to do his own thing and left Gainax to just sit there and make money with shoujo.
But so, is that Maha Shoujo Madoka Magica? Is that
no, just shoujo anime in general.
Just shoujo anime. This is so Magica Wars is it's a media franchise kind of thing.
Right.
So they had an iOS game called Magica Wars Lock On and Magica Wars Tactics. It's just like an anime based off of all the other things they did around the merchandising and mobile games for it.
Right. Okay. Fair enough then. I think I'm pretty sure that all the Evangelion stuff, the most recent movies and things, that's all still attributed to the production of actually, to be fair, it has to have been, because I didn't add that in, and the system must have scraped it from IMDb.
Fair.
So so Gainax is definitely still involved with the newer Evangelion stuff. But I think the problem is that that is it. It's just oh, Gainax, you mean Evangelion? No, I'm talking about Gunbuster, which is significantly better than Evangelion. No, I know you're talking about Evangelion. I know Evangelion. Oh, yeah, you're talking about
Evangelion. Proto-Evangelion, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I feel that in and of itself is kind of a symbol of a studio that's been crushed by the weight of its own IP.
But,
and
one that you Sorry, I'll let you finish.
Well, to me, it's kind of sad that that's happened. It's the fact that, you know, you don't attribute all these other IPs, and realistically, when you think Fooly Cooly, it's just like, oh, you mean Studio Trigger? Like, no, that was done by Gainax before. Yeah, and it's just like, oh, did they? Oh, I never knew that. And then, but immediately, it's just, that's out of their brain now. It's just like, I'm still thinking about just Evangelion.
You should know it's Studio. You should know it's Gainax because they're Gainaxing in the show.
God. Okay, here's another one that people attribute to Trigger that's not that's actually Gainax. Panty and Stocking.
Yeah. That was one of their last ones too, wasn't it?
And what was the?
Well, you say last. It turns out they came back, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, that was the other one, Corpse Princess.
Yeah.
Yes. Again, these ones that get attributed to Trigger are actually Gainax, but you could see why Trigger was born from Gainax, because these shows, they obviously had these people on the animation team and on the concept team to do this, and they loved it, and so they went to go and do their thing in a more concentrated way as Trigger, because Gainax was kind of suffering.
I think, to be honest, though, the difference between the two is Gainax takes a very surreal look at the tones and things. I mean, like, hell, you can see the similarities bleeding backwards, where you've got SSSS Gridman. That is like, this is so synonymous with the direction, tones, and things that was Evangelion was taken in.
Yeah.
Right? But I feel that with Gainax, it's about bringing it to reality, right? Whereas with Trigger, it's fuck reality.
How crazy can we get this?
Do what I want, right? It's just like,
you don't have to tell a realistic story in a realistic setting.
Yeah,
you can make something truly off the wall and still have it be a good story.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'd argue that the three we listed before, you know, BNA, Cyberpunk, and Kill la Kill, they're completely off the wall. They're not grounded in any form of reality, and they're absolutely fucking brilliant. We love them for it, right?
I don't know about Cyberpunk, but definitely BNA and
fuck you, fuck you,
okay.
Fuck you.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, going back to Trigger for just a second.
Yeah.
There's something I did notice is that Gainax, for all the stuff they do, don't get involved in outside projects. Trigger have fun things they do. For example,
like the Star Wars Visions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Star Wars Visions, but no. I mean, did you know that they actually do game cutscenes?
No.
Yep. So Shantae and the Seven Sirens, Fire Emblem Fates, Black Dynamite, Project X Zone.
That's actually not super surprising, because I think Toei Animation did some. I mean, I know they definitely did some cutscenes for. Oh God, what is the name of it? Chrono Trigger. But
when they actually want like opening sequence, hell, they even got involved in. I'm trying to remember what season it is. Season 4 of Steven Universe for Cartoon Network.
Oh, wow!
Really?
Yes, I'm trying to remember the. Mindful Education, the animation stuff for that. I don't know if have you both watched Steven Universe?
No? Long time ago, but they ruined the last season.
They did a brilliant musical scene in that, where it's a thing where Stephen and Connie were fusing and then having difficulty with it because they kept losing control.
So it was the
Garnet scene where she takes them onto the thing. Yeah, where they did the musical Here Comes a Thought. Yes.
I was thinking of the Evangelion episode where they had to sync their attacks to music.
Yeah, well, there is that. No, this is the one where they literally go in, and of course Rebecca Sugar's really good with her musical bits, and the song is all about actually dealing with anxiety and angry, intrusive thoughts, and how you deal with them as a couple, not just as yourself. You have to deal with them for your partner as much as for yourself. And it was very, very well done. That whole imagery was with help from Studio Trigger. And it really worked. So the Studio Trigger go out of their way to do fun things with other people as well, not just their own animation stuff.
Okay, I have a direction to change this in.
Okay.
My gentlemen, if you will indulge me.
No.
No. I want to talk about
do our own thing with our own podcast with blackjack and hookers.
Wow. Let's see how it is now. I want to talk about MAPPA.
MAPPA.
Right.
I was thinking either MAPPA or IG, so yeah.
Right. So MAPPA being a studio that has spawned from
Madhouse.
Oh shit, Madhouse, right? And one thing I find with MAPPA, again, this is weird. I find that MAPPA is a name that's thrown around a lot more than Trigger, but that's besides the point. MAPPA, I find, can be really hit and miss, right? It's very Marmite, so to speak, where it's a case of like you either love it or you hate it, right? For example, Hell's Paradise, which is currently a MAPPA, series that's kind of pretty airing.
That's what I like
you
about
love
them
it,
is that
I hate it.
They're willing to take chances. They're not just doing
it is good.
the safe show. They're doing what they want to do, stuff that's artistically interesting to them.
Yeah, but in parts, one of the problems with MAPPA taking this stuff on is you end up with shows like, which I love, I'm just going to preface this, Dorohedoro, right? I love Dorohedoro, right? I'm not a huge fan of the CG style of it, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
I thought it worked.
But the problem is, we're not going to get a season 2. They're not doing a season 2, at least as far as, and that's the problem with both MAPPA and Madhouse. They'll work on something and then just, we tried, but, and I don't know if it's down to not being committed to finishing it off or what. But it is something about MAPPA some of
this also comes down to the weird Japan Animation Council thing, and it may be a case of they because as far as I know, is it MAPPA that did Chainsaw Man?
Yes.
So that is the first time they have ever fully funded. Well, as far as I know, in Japan, it was one of the first recent cases of an anime being fully funded by a single studio rather than going to this weird council thing where each of them gets like a vote, and depending on how much money they put in to fund it, they can dictate like sort of where the anime goes. And there's a real problem with that, and so it may be a case of they do the stuff they want to do, and then the council looks at it and goes, yeah, but it wasn't really that profitable, so we're not going to fund another season.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, compare that to something that apparently is really profitable, which is on screen right now.
Because, but didn't they hand that over to exactly.
Wit Studio had seasons 1 to 3, but it's gone to MAPPA for the final seasons, parts 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. So obviously, when it was funded enough to get the 3 seasons, but because it wasn't finished, it's obviously gone back to the council and it's been given to MAPPA for the finishing off of the actual show, however many more seasons it takes.
Yeah.
But then, there's other ones like...
But I'm with you, Zeno. I'm with you on this, yeah.
Yeah. Jujutsu Kaisen. Actually, that went well enough, and it's come back to MAPPA for the next one. It's, the actual release date of season 2 has not been quite announced yet, but it's definitely going with the same studio.
No, it's next season.
Yes, it is next season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's still got TBA on the listing I've got. So.
Okay.
But they've been busy. You got to think about it. They did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shows this year.
Oh, and they did get to do 2 seasons of Rage of Bahamut, at least.
Yes, and Vinland Saga.
Yeah.
they did Campfire Cooking in Another World and Hell's Paradise, and again they're announcing Jujutsu Kaisen this year.
Chainsaw Man.
Compare that to last year, where they changed Chainsaw Man, Dance Dance Dancier, and Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
So part 2, or season 4, part 2. Never mind.
Well, season 2, part 4.
And they also have these other ones like where they get Zombieland Saga or the Ida 10 Deities.
Oh, Ida 10 Deities was so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the miss part of it. That's the hate it side of things.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, they've even been given stuff that isn't the usual remit, like the God of High School, which I brought up last episode. That was originally a manhwa, and a little bit confusing because of it. But they went on with that, and did actually surprisingly good a job of the actual part of the show they had to do. What the season they did was well done. It's a shame that God of High School has kind of just run on and on and on and on as a manhwa, not really having any plan.
Part of it, I wonder. So we've talked in the news a couple weeks ago about the studio head who did both MAPPA and M2, and how I wonder if this is a case of he gets something he likes to challenge himself. So I wonder if this is a case if he gets something that's challenging and then loses interest in it as soon as he's conquered that challenge.
I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing, because I mean, people change jobs all the time because of that very reason.
Well, sure, but then the entire studio, is this a case of he makes the studio drop it at large just so they can move on to another challenging project?
I
don't know.
Sure.
A part of me would like to think that he basically goes like, right, I'm done here. I'm gonna go start a new studio and create that, conquer that, and then when I get done with that, I'm gonna go do it again. I'm gonna just
rather
do it
than
all
actually
over again.
the anime itself. I don't know.
I mean, one thing I will always credit MAPPA is they know how to animate. The visuals are always spot on. They're always peak, right? I don't think there's a single show that they have done that even the ones that I don't like, the animation has been bad. The animation's always high fidelity.
Whether they use the 2D or the 3D method, it's still good animation.
Yeah,
Dorohedoro was one of the first 3D shows that I saw that I was like, wow, 3D animation can actually be okay. Because it was animated on 2s for starters, which massive help. It's yeah.
So, and again, they're a studio that very heavily pioneers the whole utilizing 3D in the right places. Yeah. So, I both love them and hate them. Right? Just like Marmite. I should love Marmite.
An artistic studio, though.
Yeah.
But that's, on that thing, from the creator having his thing, remember, much like the last two we discussed, this is another one spawned by the co-founder of one studio going and making another.
Yeah.
Because it came straight out of Madhouse.
Yeah.
Which has a huge library.
Do they ever?
You think MAPPA's all over the place. Madhouse was there's listings all the way back to 1973.
Yeah.
With co-animations with Toei, Tokyo Movie, Tatsunoko Productions, Studio Dean.
Some of these don't even exist anymore, do they?
No.
But Madhouse does.
Yes. But you think some of these I have not seen so many of these. But then again, I have box sets of others.
I feel that with Madhouse, I think it's a safer bet through and through that if you've got a Madhouse production, you're going to like it. I feel that Madhouse is the safe bet. You know, they bet black or red, whereas MAPPA is you're picking a specific number to bet on.
It's your roulette, yeah.
You know, so I mean, don't get me wrong.
Also, no, go on.
There are stuff out there with Madhouse that are just like, really? But, you know, even for how much I
stinker.
No. But even for how much we diss on Overlord or Death Note, we can't argue the animation's spot on.
Yeah. They have a reputation to maintain with this. But what we found, when I'm looking down their list of productions, quite a lot of the time they do tend to go a little faster than they should. I mean, we all remember how Trigun is different from its manga.
Yeah.
But part of that is because the manga wasn't even finished when they did it.
It wasn't. They've gone a little bit faster than they should have.
Oh, I see what you mean. They jumped the... Okay. They jumped the gun and making it, not they go too fast once they started.
They jumped the Trigun. Okay, I'll stop that. So, okay, I mean, of the early ones, okay, they did like one of the original versions of the animated version of Treasure Island. But then there's others that were absolute stinkers, like DNA.
Oh God!
Oh my God! That show had some.
You mean DNA Squared?
Yes, it's technically DNA Squared, but just DNA.
We're talking about the one with
the very
the girl that goes back in time.
Yep.
Yeah.
To confront her ancestor, as it were. Yep.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed that one, but that was a long time ago. I don't know if it's still a joke.
When it started out, yes, it's not a good show, but it's one you're glad you watched when you started out, so that you could find better ones.
Yeah.
Is that your?
No, he just liked the movies.
Is it? I was going to say, is it your Najika Blitz tactics?
Yeah.
What? DNA Squared? Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it. I honestly...
Yeah. Okay.
I'd argue High School Double D's mine,
It was at the time, it was good animation as well. It doesn't hold up so well now, but So there's every single anime person knows of Cardcaptor Sakura. But then again, another founding one from that one was Jubei-chan, the lovely eye patch.
Never watched either of those.
Fairly good show, but how should I put this? It was similar in theming to the way we had Inuyasha. It's almost like the fact that Jubei-chan Ninja Girl started off meant that Inuyasha could be like a better period fantasy setting thing.
I do actually like Inuyasha. I'll admit it.
Yeah. Let's say Sakura Wars, Hajime no Ippo, as not very good as it was, the fact that it was big over in the West, Beyblade.
Yeah.
Galaxy Angel. They even did some things like Kirby Right Back at You in 2001. You think of a collaboration in with that would need for getting a Kirby animation. That's impressive. Oh, let's see.
Goodness.
Magical Shopping Arcade, Abenoboshi, Zeno's favourite, Chobits.
That's Nasuth's favourite.
Gungrave, Gunslinger Girl. I actually have the box set of. For what
Gungrave
it is.
is supposed to be really good too, isn't it? I've actually never watched it.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
You want one? Strawberry Panic. That one. Oh my word!
Everyone's just like, "What Panic?"
Strawberry Panic. Let's not get into Strawberry Panic. But then they turn around and do Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
They're responsible for Death Note, Claymore.
Perfect. Wow.
Claymore. Oh my god, I'm so happy Claymore's getting the season 2. I need to rewatch the first season, but thank fuck it's getting a season 2.
Yeah, let's see what else is there. Is on good ones on the list. have to go into the 2010s for that.
I think
there are some misses for like High School of the Dead.
Oh, Xeno likes High School of the Dead, though.
No. Okay,
and
so
then,
actually, to be fair,
and also the animation
originally I thought
good.
it was meh. Yeah, I thought originally High School of the Dead was pretty meh, but then when I rewatched it, for its own value of just being a stupid zombie murder fest, it's alright. It's pretty good. You know, I think that is one of the biggest issues when it comes to a lot of these shows. It's just like, how is it interpreted and adapted and things. Like, you know, okay, fine. I mean, to give it justice, right? I'm pretty sure, Thaylien, you're on board with our not liking of Overlord. Yes?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, right. But there are plenty of people out there that still really like Overlord and like to remind us how wrong our opinion is, even though it's perfectly right. You know,
that's what the comment section is for.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I think even though there are strong opinions either way, just like with MAPPA, there are no duds, right? How often do we see a show by maybe a lesser known studio and it's just like, who? You know? I couldn't even tell you who did. Oh gosh, what's the name of the realist hero that rebuilt the kingdom? I don't know if the systems actually picked up on it. Let's see, have a quick look. Where's our oh gosh, can I actually work out which one the picture is?
I just find it so funny because they go from being given the real serialized stuff, like running for 9 years, like Hunter x Hunter, but then they'll pick up something absolutely unknown and bizarre, like Batum.
It's JC Staff.
Oh, Batum needed a second season.
Really?
Is it? Okay.
It is JC. It's yeah. Sorry, not Batum. How it really is to rebuild the kingdom.
But then,
yeah, like that's part of the problem. Is like I'm shocked that JC Staff produced that. I'm absolutely shocked. You know.
Okay.
They didn't deliver Disastrous Life of Psyche K. Konosuba, wow.
Yeah.
Danmachi.
Okay, so,
Jesus.
Should we pivot?
Back on.
Yeah.
Let's just back on this for just one little thing, because
go ahead, Thaylien.
You think about Madhouse has done some of our favorites, our absolute favorites out there, like No Game of Life. One that I keep going back to and watching again because I don't know. I think it was a manhwa or a Chinese sourced show, but it's on Netflix and it just I'm not sure why it has a weird appeal. Is the Irregular Magic High?
Yes. I rewatched it just the other day.
Exactly. And the original One Punch Man series.
Yeah.
they do have just banger after banger on under their belt, on their studio.
Yeah.
And they honestly, even when the show is a bit of a dud itself,
it's at least still quality.
The production they put in is they have that reputation to maintain, and so.
Although I will say there are some real odd moments in Overlord. Also, they got away with just not animating his face for the most part. So, but.
Well, so you were going to pivot, Xeno, weren't you?
Yeah, let's pivot. Let's pivot to JC Staff, right? I think one of the big things about some studios like JC Staff, they can produce such, like, I've heard JC Staff mention more. This is always going to boil back down to Trigger, right? People go like, "Oh my god, it's JC Staff! Oh my god, it's JC Staff! Hey, I went to a studio. It was JC Staff." I'm like, I've heard all these pivots towards JC Staff over the existence of
Trigger and MAPPA.
Trigger.
Probably even over David Productions.
No, I hear David. That's a hard one. That is a difficult one because David's so well known for JoJo.
Yeah.
But like we have. Is it wrong to try and pick up girls in a dungeon? Right. That is such a huge successful title. Same with like Food Wars and things like this. Like really
they have a huge range.
impressive.
That shows how much range they have. They can go from silly, crazy cheesecake with Food Wars, and then even though there is still some cheesecake, quite a bit of cheesecake in Danmachi, it's much more of a serious tone.
Yeah, but like the animation for either show is really on point, right? We relatively or comparatively watched Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? The first season is still exceptionally well animated compared to Realist Hero, right?
Yeah.
Realist Hero is just like, it feels like you got bored animating this and you're reusing frames just because
they made it to try and pay the bills.
Oh, wow. They did Strongest Sage of the Weakest Crest.
Yeah. The Executioner's a Way of Life.
Right? Yeah. This is the thing. It feels like, so whereas MAPPA and Madhouse, they'll have like this whole polarizing either love it or hate it, JC staff is like, we'll make it or it's a dud.
Oh, they did Toradora too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
they did season 2 of One Punch Man.
Yes. They did season 2 of One Punch Man, but then they did Data Live, and then they also did the MILF Sakai, or Do You Love Your Mom and her 2-hit multi-target attacks.
Scientific Railgun.
They did High School Girl.
High Score Girl.
Yeah, High School Girl.
Then there's Prison School of all things. I mean, come on. If there is a exploring your weird fetishes, there's a weird fetishes the series. That's Prison School.
Yeah, 12 pages worth of stuff on Anime Planet, and some of it is definitely very little risque.
Yeah. Okay, there's classic ones that could be argued either way, like Zero no Sakama or Familiar Zero. Bakuman. This one is really,
Parappa the Rapper. Oh my god.
They may have just animated the game though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Or no, I think that's a series.
Yeah.
It's a short series, yeah.
Okay, never mind.
30 episodes.
Yeah.
Short.
Wow.
Very short.
Okay, not short.
Exceptionally short.
God, Ayori Aoshi. That's a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more than 20 years old, and I remember seeing adverts for it.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of classic anime here, as well as modern stuff. Anyway.
Like Revolutionary Girl Utena.
I think this is the big thing when you will have big powerful studios that have big motivation, like Trigger and Gainax. They have big motivation,
big studio energy
to no, I'd argue that MAPPA and Madhouse have bigger studio energy than those two, but I don't feel like the other two are motivated. I don't feel Madhouse and MAPPA are motivated to guarantee that everyone will like it. It's just all their stuff is for a targeted audience. That's the love it or hate it situation. But with Trigger and Gainax, it is very much a case of like, you can't really go wrong with either of those two studios.
No, it's more like, I'd say it's more like with these guys, each show they get given is dedicated towards a specific audience, and the quality varies because of it. Whereas Gainax and Trigger, they want to make a style of anime, and it shows. They want to
style
make
first, story
no matter
second.
which.
Style first, story second.
for a second.
Yes. So, well, almost. So they want to tell whatever story is going to be on, but no matter whether if they're going to go for if Gainax is going to go for a shoujo anime, it's going to do the best shoujo animation it can,
right?
Whatever the story is. If Trigger's going to do something that blows the characters to the moon and beyond, then it doesn't matter what story it is, they're going to do that stylistically. So they very much play into what the actual style of their show is going to be, regardless of what the actual story or setting is. If they want to do that to the hills, whereas the others, like JC and the others, they often have their own style that they're going to stick to, no matter what the genre is. If you see what I mean, that's where I see that going to be.
Or maybe
why the quality can go up and down.
That they just shift between,
depending on which sub team they've got. It.
So like Toradora is very big heads, big eyes, whereas something like the Realist Hero, or not the Realist Hero, the Executioner or Utena tends to be a little bit more realistically proportioned. I say Utena's realistically proportioned. Have you seen the legs in that show?
I need to rewatch Excel Saga again.
I feel like the biggest thing is with maybe it's just JC staff themselves. I feel that either they they will follow through with go big or go home. They will just like they'll phone it in. Like they've got stuff that we have experienced is just like, that's theirs. It's like, yeah, that's theirs. Why did they phone it in? They just do. Maybe it's a case of they needed a quick win or something. I don't know. I don't know why they phoned it in. Maybe it's because they thought it was too much of a gamble, right?
Oh yeah, so maybe the subdivision got underfunded because they didn't think it was going to be a big hit.
It could be the reason why
council stuff messing with them too. Who knows?
Potentially. But maybe things like Realist Hero, and that's the one that I like to come back to a lot, maybe that got its animation sort of like cut because they're like, we don't think this is going to do well, right? We don't think that this is going to... Yeah, like this isn't gonna... Yeah, you've won us this work, but let's face it, it's going against things like, let's propose Attack on Titan. Right? It's not going to win against the likes of Attack on Titan, so phone it in, right? I mean, I think there's something strong to be said about picking your battles. Don't get me wrong, but it's very ominous that a lot of JC staff stuff, like a lot of stuff done by them, they'll improve the animation. They'll fixate on the animation at the start of the series and at the end of the series, but then when it comes to the middle, it's just like, we'll let this suffer, and I feel like the middle is potentially more important than the start.
In some cases, you need
it's
the
really
3 points.
hard.
You need that beginning, middle, end to any kind of development, and the bits between the beginning and the middle, and the bit in the middle and the end, they can suffer. But you need to hit that opening, that mid-season shift, and then the end of any.
But of course, this is also why they're doing stuff like introducing AI-generated backgrounds to some anime, because that does cut down on a lot of the time and money that goes into some of these productions, for better or worse.
Yeah. Right. Do you guys have a pivot that you want to take this in now?
Let's go for one that everybody actually knows, mostly because they bring out the merch. Or with Bandai Namco Filmworks or Studio Sunrise.
We do have some Sunrise stuff, yeah.
Yes. Because these are...
I forgot they did Inuyasha.
They did Inuyasha. And they even did a couple of like the classics like Dirty Pair. But they are known this is a studio known for big mecha. Everything from the Mobile Suit Gundam stuff to the Big O to
shoot, they did Big O too?
Slightly, yes.
Wow, I had no idea.
Older stuff like Cyborg 009, Ultraman, that's on there.
Well,
but then they have a couple of weird ones like Mama is a 4th grader, but
yeah. Wasn't Sunrise its own studio that was mostly just doing work for Bandai before they got acquired?
They got acquired, yeah. So they were doing more their own thing, but you wouldn't necessarily associate them with some of the projects. As you said, you wouldn't have associated them with Inuyasha.
Yeah.
What about Cowboy Bebop and Outlaw Star?
Yes.
That's
them.
them.
Those I actually knew about, yeah.
Yeah, but off the top of your head, if you were looking at something owned by Bandai Namco, would you have?
Well, no, because at that point I don't think they were yet owned by Bandai.
Yeah. Scried is another one.
Scried. Just Scried.
It's just Scried. Or Witch Hunter Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have some really well-known series. Because, Gintama.
Yeah.
Just one of those fantastic series out there with ridiculous meme capability. They have, odd ones like Good Luck Girl.
Oh, damn! Good
Luck Girl is really good.
Every third show that they create is a mecha, is a Gundam, is a something.
Yeah. I mean, that may just be what they're into, the same way that Gainax is kind of into Evangelion.
Yes. Surprisingly, though, they're also responsible for a lot of the Love Live shows.
Well, no, that actually makes sense, because that's also a high source of merchandise.
Yes, exactly. They are really into the merchandise stuff. So when you think about it, in terms of animation studios, this is one just produces animes for that you can merchandise the absolute arse out of. Everything from whether it's idle animations like Love Live, or to the giant mecha like Witch from Mercury, because everybody wants a Gundam Aerial these days. And to some more esoteric ones like the Faraway Paladin.
Yeah.
They but even in that, he had some iconic things that you could make into models, into toys, into collectibles. It's massively geared towards that. So there's others, they do that that you could get into, but
you got their merchandising anime versus their arty anime.
Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion. I'm not pronouncing it that way. And Tales of the Abyss. A lot of Tales of.
Porn parody.
Yeah, they have. This is something where they want models. They want Gunpla. They want.
Well, to be fair, that has become that has unfortunately become most of the anime world is can we make a Figma? Can we make a Nendoroid?
Well, I mean, the answer is always yes.
Yeah.
With a yes with a but, and no with an if. And they're not above trying something more experimental in terms of when you think about it, like Tiger and Bunny.
Yeah.
That as an idea, as a series, it didn't take off very well, but it got enough to get a second series, as I understand it.
Yeah,
I feel that was more.
I didn't think was as good as the first season, but there you go.
I feel
I didn't even watch the second season.
I feel that the existence of the second season was, maybe this is the definition of Sunrise, but I feel the second season exists because a studio like, oh shit, who are they called? So I feel like Netflix basically said, if we give you money, would you do a second season of Tiger and Bunny exclusively for Netflix? I kind of wonder how much external influence there was there. And I do feel that Sunrise will chase the dollar bill. Like, you know, as we're describing their passion for making stuff that has merchandise, I feel that, you know, maybe that's the reason why we have some sequels that, like, maybe this didn't need a sequel.
Yeah. And I want to contrast them with somebody else that doesn't seem to do any of that.
Okay.
I mean, there is a certain amount of it. No, Production IG.
Ah, yes.
Now, because you
even
look
though
down their
Tachikomas
list
are
of,
ultimately merchandisable.
They are. But at the same, but you look down their list of things that they've produced, and it's generally for the fact that they seem to have some kind of goal with them. From Blue Seed to Blood Plus.
I want to fight you on this.
Oh?
Specifically because of Ultraman.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again,
I mean,
that seems to be the exception rather than the rule.
And even then, I would say that Ultraman is more of a love letter to Tokusatsu than an effort to sell toys.
I mean, I feel that Ultraman exists, like the most recent incarnation of Ultraman, because Netflix put the money forward. I don't know if this is true, right? But I think Netflix put the money forward, and Production Ride, you were like, yeah, sure. Now, the first season of Ultraman was fucking fantastic, right? And
third season's also really good. Really, really good. But
because Netflix turned around and just like, oh yeah, we have to slash the budget, I feel that basically didn't give Production IG the opportunity to just turn around and say, well, then we need another year to redo this because this, you know, this release is a mess now because you've just cut off 4 of our episodes or 6 of our episodes, right? And so I do feel that in part they will go for they will chase the dollar bill.
They'll chase the dollar because they actually got a section specifically on their wiki page for Netflix animations.
Oh, really?
Specifically, yeah. So, King of Fighters, Chopper Underground.
Oh my god. Sorry.
There's the Ultraman, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex 2045.
Yeah.
Star Wars Visions. And they are adapting Berserker and the Terminator series with Netflix. So they are chasing that.
I think I had heard about that, yeah.
You know, when you think about some of the things they started with, Dragon Half.
Oh, Dragon Half's so good.
Because they actually co-produced...
I thought the studio that did Dragon Half got shut down.
There's as IG Tatsunoko.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So Production IG...
Right. Out of that.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Was part of the people.
I imagine it was
the people that weren't super high on cocaine formed Production IG.
And funnily enough,
no, Nasuth, mega cocaine.
Yes, mega cocaine. So, because they also co-produced Fooly Cooly with Gainax, they got given all of the Fooly Cooly sequels. So, Fooly Cooly Progressive, Fooly Cooly Alternative.
But I've heard those aren't good.
I didn't quite like them.
Watched,
they do continue. No. The one of them, the direct sequel, kind of does continue it quite well. Right. Alternative is, you know, what if all the genders were reversed, apart from the main character, apart from Thingamy,
Base Girl,
and they've got a new Fooly Cooly apparently coming out. Where is that? There's an upcoming one, a to be announced one, which is absolutely terrifying. That there's another Fulikuli coming out.
I feel
Fulikuli Shogaze to be made without Swim.
I feel that with Production IG, they have the heart in it. They mean the best in all the stuff that they do, right? Like, I know Nasuth has big heartache with Housing Complex C. Right?
Yeah, it's so good, and then it's so bad.
But at the same time, Heavenly Delusion, wow, it's like the system so reads my brain. Yeah, it's just like top notch, right? I haven't watched the latest episode, but you know, it is this season. It is the peak of the season.
Yeah.
And they love their sports anime as well. So there's a lot of that. So everything from Prince of Tennis to Kuroko's Basketball, Haikyuu. They love these.
Wait, were they involved with Attack
I think they were involved
Titan?
with the first season.
Yeah, they were. No, they were involved in Attack on Titan Junior High.
Oh God!
That's a spin-off where everybody's in the sports spin-off where everybody's in school.
Wait. Is that that must be like a sub thing on the wiki page or something. Is that on the IMDb page?
Yeah. So Attack on Titan Junior High, comedy manga series, published between 2012 and 2016. Parody of the Attack on Titan manga with everyone in high school.
Right.
You got Ace of Diamond. All of these shows that are trying to actually put the story into sports, which, you know, we've all heard those sports stories, the underdogs or the those kind of things. They're classic. You can follow along with them and really root for the characters.
Actually, Nasuth, while you've got Anime Planet open in front of us, could you actually do a search for Blue Lock? I'd be interested to know who did Blue Lock.
I can't remember.
Because that one had a huge
I was
was
wondering if that was at 8-bit.
Who the hell's 8-bit?
Well, Xeno, let me tell you. That time I got reincarnated as a slime part season 2, and also the original.
And 1. Okay, that's
How to Keep a Mummy.
It's not them.
That was hilarious.
So I've heard.
Knights and Magic!
Fruits of Josiah. Yeah, Knights and Magic. Let's see. Infinite Stratos of all things.
Irregular Magic High School.
Anniversary.
Okay, this must be clearly is like, okay, they've helped with stuff. They've got to be like.
I almost wonder if they've grown out of another studio.
Maybe.
Anyway,
them up and double check.
Right. I will say Project IG is a studio that I'm more prepared to commit to than I am with the likes of JC Staff, right?
Yes.
Again, Project IG, I think, is a fairly big name. Again,
I mean, people who don't know Ghost in the Shell, like, what is wrong with your life? You know.
Yeah, pretty much. But we're talking about standalone complex, not. Oh, actually, no. I think Arise was also theirs as well.
Wasn't the original theirs? Did the movie?
Yeah. It was theirs as well. But I was, you know. But regardless of all of that, I feel that Projection IG is one of the bigs alongside MAPPA and Madhouse. They do suffer the whims of investors, nowhere near as much as MAPPA and Madhouse. But, oh gosh. I always feel that with Production IG, they try their bloody damnedest to make the best shit they can. under whatever restrictions they have. As long as the restrictions don't change down the line, whatever they produce, they intend it to be the best. And I wouldn't be surprised if Housing Complex C, it was supposed to be a much longer series, but it just got cut.
Yeah, because I think it was funded by Adult Swim, or at least commissioned by Adult Swim.
Oh,
so that's
and of course there was the whole Warner Discovery thing.
Yeah,
and right.
So it's possible that affected its release, and that is unfortunate.
Yeah, I can imagine. Right. Any other pivots? Any other directions that we want to...
Nasuth, pick a studio.
I think unless we want to do Toei Animation, because, I mean, it's hard to talk about iconic anime studios without talking about Toei. Shall we do them real fast?
Why not? Go on.
That's it.
I mean, everyone knows Dragon Ball Z.
Everyone knows One Piece.
Everyone knows One Piece. Where's the studio? My studio.
I will say...
Not everyone knows Galaxy Express, but they really should.
Or Mazinger.
I think they did all the Captain Harlock stuff, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the non-crybaby version of Devilman.
Devilman. Yeah, see, I usually just associate them with Dragon Ball, but they really have done so much. It's another case of, like, they've been pigeonholed by everyone knows Dragon Ball.
Yes.
But my goodness, Sailor Moon. You think Sailor Moon is... Wait, wasn't Sailor Moon Saban? Or was that just the English version?
No, Saban was the English distributor.
Right, yes. So, yeah. Everyone, they did the original Sailor Moon, and that was... Honestly, the original Japanese version is so much darker than the English version that we got.
Cartoons are for kids.
Yeah, God.
Yes.
I never watched Digimon, but I know some of the later seasons were also kind of weirdly dark and stuff. Yeah. I think they are.
I will say, like, so I had this strong notion in my head, right? That who are we talking about right now? Toei, right? Yeah. Toei have this really strong presence with animation, right? They I feel
stylish.
with Toei. No, not just that, but they have this like dedication to their style or the styles of the author and things, right? But I was, this is what I was thinking. Because like, look at things like Dragon Ball Super. Look at One Piece. Look at a lot of the stuff.
I think the only thing they really share is the eyes in a lot of cases. Other than that, they could be
no. It's they keep the style
of the
artist. The author. Yeah. Right, which is brilliant.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
If you want to look at the style of like the first 3 seasons of High School Double D is drastically different from the 4th season because that studio decided no, we're gonna do it our way, right? It's gonna look our style, and no, it doesn't. No, the first 3 look so much better, in my opinion, than the 4th one. The 4th one is actually more of in respect to the original artist, right?
Oh.
They hugely lean towards like the cover art and things of High School Double D.
Was 4th season Toei?
No, I have no idea who any of the seasons were. I don't know.
Oh! You're just using it as an example. Okay,
it's an example.
Sorry,
right?
I got you now. I'm with you. All right.
Right, Toei, right? They massively. They massively. No. Yes. They will
the equivalent of
Yeah, they will lean heavily on producing for what the original author did. Right? Look how clean and crisp Dragon Ball Super looks. Right?
Oh yeah.
It is, they push the boundaries. But one thing I want to say and give credit to Toei for is Dragon Ball Super Superheroes, the CGI movie. They made a CGI movie of the Dragon Ball Super setting, right? But they didn't
Did they animate it on
compromise.
Oh, okay.
No, they didn't. Well, yes, they did. They did. They animated on. They didn't compromise their artist integrity, right? Like, that's such a huge part of it. However, saying this, and this is like one nail in the coffin, they released a Digimon series. I can't remember which one it was. I don't think it was Tamers. It was like one of the later ones. And dear God, the animation on it, they had this girl running down a street. Her arms were as long as her torso and legs combined.
There's a bit of that in like season 1 of Super. If you look for it, it's a little rough around the edges, but yeah. So I want to say that Toei are really, really good for maintaining the quality of the animation. But I do feel that there's the odd thing that creeps in and you're just like, well, shit. And something to actually go against Toei. Please stop getting on our backs about actually putting your stuff on social media. Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Please.
Yeah. We love you, really.
Hitting us. You're really hitting us hard, and we don't know why. You think Toei are great for picking up the monetizable stuff as well, when you think about it. Because they're the ones that are responsible for Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
In all of its silly glory. You pointed out Digimon, but they also picked up the ones that they thought were going to be bigger, like Air Gear and
oh god,
similarly named but not actually anything to do with it, Air Master, which I liked as a manga, definitely. Fairly good as a TV show as well. They pick up things like Smile Precure and what's another one that they've gone through all of the Sailor Moon stuff as consistently as it gets. They've gone through all of the big they've gone through almost all the big four, and they just keep coming out with these long-running shows.
Was Naruto theirs out of interest?
No, I don't think. I think Naruto's the only one of the big four that isn't.
I forgot who that is. I looked it up earlier.
Is Bleach theirs?
I think Naruto is Pierrot.
Sorry, did you say if Bleach was theirs?
No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. That's not theirs.
Oh god, they did Interstellar 5555.
Yes.
Transformers the movie. The Saint Seiya stuff. The old Saint Seiya stuff.
They actually have one of my favourites that I say my favourites at the time, and I forgot existed since, which is Mushrambo. Or it was called Shinzo in quite a lot of the other markets, but I knew it as Mushrambo because I watched the sub originally.
I do feel though that Toei, they very specifically target.
I forgot they also did Toriko. That makes sense why they could do a Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Toriko crossover.
Exactly.
I do feel that they will specifically go for long-running series.
Very like shonen or shoujo, oriented.
No, it's just whatever it is. It's like, oh no, this has to last forever. And like, I mean, we could create like another pivot point for people to come in. It's like, no, forever.
Even a lot of their Leijiverse stuff, even though they're different stories, they all take place in the Leijiverse.
Who did My Hero Academia?
That was, I think that may have also been Pierrot.
Possibly.
Which is one of the ones that did
they definitely go for franchises. Yeah. They definitely go for franchises. So they've held on to the Precure, they've held on to Dragon Ball Z, they've held on to One Piece because One Piece never ends.
All the slam dunks.
Yeah.
You have more than one season?
Yeah, so it's just one season full of, with over 1,000 episodes.
Yep.
But they do. They do.
Oh God, they did Fist of the North Star 2. I bet they did 1 as well. Yep, there it is. Yeah. Damn.
Going back, it just went for.
I imagine that's when they're still trying to find themselves, because I feel that the most recent Toei is like, we are specifically for the kids. They did Clannad, the movie.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
Christ.
Yeah, they did.
Anyway.
Yeah, they did.
There's still one that nobody's mentioned that they do that I am absolutely impressed with. It's been running for a while now, which is Butt Detective.
Okay.
I've never watched it, but just the existence of it. And funnily enough, they've actually been running something in collaboration with a French studio, which is surprisingly widespread now, which is Ladybug and Cat Noir.
My understanding was that was supposed to be Toei, but it was supposed to be all like 2D and everything, but it got pulled, right?
Yeah, and went to 3D, but there are 2D functions in it. So Toei's got any 2D, that's the thing, any of the 2D production on it, which is infrequent, but it's there.
Has to be them.
Is Toei.
Right.
It's usually for their like imagination sequences where like I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, and then that'll make this kid fall madly in love with me.
Right.
And there was also I think they did there was an episode where they did a movie of Ladybug and Cat Noir, and the movie was animated by Toei.
Oh my God.
Well, the bit we saw of it was.
Right. I think we should wrap up here.
Yeah. I was going to say one last thing that I learned during this whole episode is how little attention I pay to who the studio is in a lot of cases, because it's like, they did that? Wait, they did that? That's happened so much in this episode for me specifically. I don't know how you two feel about that as well, but
in some cases certainly, right?
Yeah.
But I will say, like, an honourable mention that maybe we'll come back to this topic again in the future is certainly Kyoto Animation and Cloverworks.
Yeah.
I was going to say Cloverworks, yes. Definitely getting an honorary mention in this one. They have that mix of shonen and long-running and a little bit of everything that just manages to get surprising amount of attention.
Yeah, there were just so many studios we didn't hit, like A1, and these are just the ones that we have that, because there's some, obviously there are ones in the system that couldn't make it in this time. Science Saru.
UFO Table.
UFO Table. White Fox.
Studio.
Wit Studio. Yeah, just, we could definitely do another episode on this so easily.
Yep. We
Why
discussed
isn't David Production in this list?
I don't know.
That's a good question. Right, anyway, I think we should begin our wrap-up process. Let us move on to the supporter questions?
Supporter questions.
We
actually got an extra one this time. I'm very happy.
We got a new people. Right, so Zrugel says, before I read out the supporter questions, I just want to thank you all for watching or listening this far. Please hit the thumbs up button. Remember to answer the poll. Okay, Zrugel, that's really an old plug. Remember, so YouTube hasn't had polls for years. Only if.
I miss those.
So Zrugel asks, can you think of any famous quotes other people like that you think are false? Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the question.
So like famous quotes that other people use that are misattributed or entirely made up. Like, oh God, I know there are famous examples of this.
Are we talking about things like the Mandela effect?
No, well, maybe, probably.
More like things like where somebody will say, if a battle results in victory, then you should fight Sun Tzu.
Right.
That kind of thing,
I mean, the one that I feel is
I like to travel halfway around the world while the truth is putting its shoes on. attributed to Mark Twain, Thomas Jefferson, Winston Churchill, and many others, but may not even be, not really made up by anyone.
Yeah.
So
it was attributed to Mark Twain in 1919, which is 9 years after he died.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, it's actually a meme. It's the meme format of they're the same picture, from The Office, right? That one is so misunderstood. It's like no. She gives the picture, so 2 copies of the same picture to a colleague to distract him in the office, right? They are the same picture, right? But it's kind of always portrayed as here are these find the differences between these 2 things, and she just thinks, oh, but they're the same thing. It's like that, yeah.
But it was her confirming to him that no, they're the same picture.
No, she's talking to the camera. She's talking to the audience.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. She's confirming to us that it's the same picture, and she's made.
And they really are the same picture. Whereas
challenge just to distract him.
Different pictures, but
it's like the time I photoshopped Wally out of the Where's Wally book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It worked.
Okay.
God, children were absolutely distracted for years.
So, Jesus Christ. So, Thraxuth asks, I've probably asked this before because I've often thought about it. If you could instantly know any other language in the world, but you could only choose one, are you such a weeb that you would choose Japanese just to more easily appreciate the anime you watch? My question is, does that mean that you forget the other languages you know?
No. You can just instantly learn a new one, but you can only do this once.
Yeah, learn a new one.
Hold on, I just want to double check.
Yeah. I'm not a weeb to the point I'd learn. I'm not a weeb to the point I'd learn Japanese. I think I talk enough with my hands that I want to learn Italian.
That's easy to learn. The connotations between Italian and English are very
you just gotta say spaghetti with meatball, and you've done it.
I just want to learn it quickly. I don't know why people.
Fine. I can appreciate that. To be honest, I probably would you also understand the written language as well?
Sure. Yes.
That's a good question. You have to.
I'd do Japanese. Yeah. I would do Japanese, either that or German, because German I cannot comprehend in any capacity, right?
German's great; it has corners,
right? I don't even know where you're going with that, but
you put the verb at the end of the sentence, so you have to think in corners.
Yeah,
I can't even comprehend the words that come in your mouth.
Japanese's structure is also really different,
specific, isn't it?
Yeah.
You often put the person at the end of the sentence, but with German, all it is, you have to rearrange your brain to say, I, with my friend Zeno and Nasuth, to the train station for a trip to London went.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Anyway, Japanese. Right. Go on, Nasuth.
I'd learn Arabic.
Oh,
and then I'd get a job as a translator.
That's a very
I was also thinking a programming language.
Oh gosh. Fortran.
Right. Oh god, what's wrong with you? Right, so Thimbleford Bimblebrox, can you cast Thayford Bimblebrox? Fuck, whatever, I don't care. Can the cast improv a Crimson Demon introduction line? Oh, not at this. Oh, give me a break. No.
I am the most annoying Kanpai Cast member, here to titillate and surprise you. It is I, Nasuth.
I am Thaylien, pun master of the cast, and I am a master of grand magic of causing the cringe, and I will rain down my destructive power upon you all. Fear me if you have the chance.
See, but he cheated because he's taken drama class in high school.
I have not.
He cheated! He wrote the fucking question! He knew what was fucking coming! improv my ass. He fucking had hours to come up with that shit.
Yeah, but do you think he's actually like motivated enough to do that?
Yeah, he fucking did. Don't lie. Right. Thayfod Bimblebrox also asks, in a world where you are able to summon a single being, Reyes Gremory. I don't care what the rest of the thing said.
No.
From another world to help you with your life, but you can only pick from fantasy world species. She's a demon. A devil. Yeah. Counts. Yeah, she counts, right? And have no control over personality of you, of the being you summon. What fantasy species do you think would be the most helpful to summon? Reyes Gremory. There you go. I'm fucking.
No, you can only pick a species. You can't pick the person.
Reyes Gremory's a species.
Boob demon. She's a boob demon.
No.
She's in a league of her own. She's clearly not of any.
Oh, come on! I think Grayfear is more powerful than she is.
Who?
Grayfear.
Who?
It's her sister-in-law.
No, genuinely, who? Her sister-in-law?
Yes.
Oh, the maid!
Yes.
I don't think she is. You're wrong.
Canonically, she is.
Canonically, you're wrong.
I would have a talking parrot.
Nasuth? Ooh.
I can't pick a cat because a cat wouldn't be helpful. I can't pick a dog because a dog is too stupid to be helpful. Mongoose is where it's at.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I was expecting somebody to choose like elves or
because
Xenos one with a demon would be quite good because powers and
if they're willing to actually help you, but you have no control over their personality.
They have no control over that. But they do have to help you, but they've got no control over how they do it.
Oh, they do have to help you. See, I was thinking they didn't have to help you.
So it could be particularly niche and try to summon a short stack girlfriend goblin.
Okay, I'm just gonna point out
an actual one.
I'm just gonna point out the number of times where it'd be like, hey, could you hurry up and get this thing finished? And I'll be like, oh, I'd love to try and get this thing finished, but the problem here is it's going to take me so long to blah, 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 blah. And then, like, bam. Like, it's done. Oh, yes, this is excellent. I like this. I'm trying to migrate this data from server A to server B. Like, this is going to take me weeks. Oh, no, I don't like the idea of you taking weeks to do some boring, monotonous shit. There you go. Done. Right.
It would just be a cat girl. It doesn't matter because cat girls just have certain amounts of personality no matter what. Cat girls are just cute.
Moving on, the Carbon of Nights asks, a being of unimaginable power pulls you out of existence for a moment and tells you that for its own amusement, it will bestow upon you one of two choices. Gain one ability from any media of your choice. Guyver. I want a Guyver. Give me a Guyver. Anyway.
Finish.
I should really finish these questions. Gain one ability from any media of your choice, but you can only use and activate when no one is watching. I'd be fine with that. I can just like Mega Smash shit from afar.
What if your enemies are watching you?
Well, I'd just be in a locked room and then Mega Smash people from afar. And I'm like, yeah. I don't care what direction you're in. I'm just going to start doing it.
But, or do you pass it on and double it?
What, you get two guys? Being a bit
somebody else gets double the powers.
They get double Mega Smasher.
No,
I'm not sure. Do they get two powers or do they get double the
I would
amount
think
of the
it's
power?
in the context of. I would think it's in the context of getting two powers.
Okay.
So would you get a power, or would you give two powers to the next person?
No, I'd have a Guyver.
Okay, Nasuth.
Well, I can't because Xeno took it. We can't pass it on anymore. Nobody else can have this power.
Same question to you. Would you want it, or would you pass it on?
Okay. So we're assuming Xeno didn't steal it. All right. I would take instant transmission.
Good power. And
really easy to use when nobody's looking too.
I'm selfish enough. I'm selfish enough that I wouldn't pass it on either. I would probably go with flying, like whether that's Dragon Ball Z style or anything else. Flight.
Yeah, but the moment you pass by a plane, you start plummeting.
It's the one thing you can do while you fly in the clouds.
If they track you on radar, you're fucked.
Can't track a single person on radar. That's silly. That was the whole deal they did with Iron Man. They had tracked him because he was made of metal and going supersonic.
Anywho, right, so that is it for the supporter questions. Moving on to the comments from last week. First, from the news. Zrugel says, is that project by Game Freak an anime or a game? Either way, I'm very interested. But one is more interesting to myself. Answer, it's the game. I think it's the game.
It is a game, yeah.
It is a game. Good job with those names, Cena.
I assume it was the anime that he'd be more interested in, but who knows? Who knows?
I'd be more interested in the game, but Strong Michelle says it was good news. And now moving on to last week's Kanpai Cast comments. Train Silently Plays returns to show just how well they know Konosuba, they say. Was that the name? Was that actually their name?
No. Crane Silently Plays is their name. No. I added returns to show just how, because they showed up the last time we talked about Konosuba.
For extra context regarding EXP scaling, especially regarding to explosion magic, Megumin would lose 30 SP. Once you get to higher levels, the scaling gets way too high to level up. That may explain why Aqua hasn't fucking leveled, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is why regarding mages don't. So this is why regular mages don't learn explosion magic, because they simply aren't capable of getting that much EXP throughout their entire lifetime. If Megumin learned advanced magic, it'd basically be the end of her dream of getting explosion magic, regardless of how good she is. Okay, that explains it.
So the next one's a bit of a spoiler. I don't know if you want to read it or not, but it's differences. It's differences between the manga and the anime and the light novel, and what
I
missed
acknowledge
out.
and appreciate it, but I have not watched the series, and I'd like to watch the series.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Zrugel says, not much from me this week, and that's okay. Nasuth says, is it Zrugel? How do we know you didn't just skip the memes? Sorry, skip to the memes. And then there's a heart.
Anyway.
I enjoyed this episode.
For those of you who aren't just skipping to the memes,
sure.
please type something like Toei Animation versus Production IG in the comments.
Or
Death Battle.
Just to show you got this far.
Death Battle, Motoko versus I don't know, Nappa.
Anyway, I enjoyed this episode. Added 2 shows. I think that's to the watch list. I had to make sure a few were already there. Ali Al Khatib, been waiting for this for a while.
I hope it helps you.
A whole 3 weeks, in fact.
Cool, and now it is time to go to the memes. So, you can find the memes in what?
Where are there? They are. I'm.
Right.
Man, I am super blind right now.
You can find more memes on twitter.com/Kanpai_cast, and eventually they will appear in the Discord. So yeah, I just haven't finished building that part of the system yet. God, soon TM. So yeah, let's get on with this. Memes.
Right. So I included the titles on some of these because they were just too funny. Like, it's new to that I love you or anything. Friend, what is a tsundere? Me, Pingu. Pingu is a tsundere.
Too true. so true.
These Netflix adaptations are getting out of hand. Yep.
Yep, that's good.
Isn't that something from the new Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I see. Yes, of course. Armin plus Armstrong equals Arminstrong.
Well,
waking up at 6 a.m. Staying awake till 6 a.m. watching anime.
Yeah.
Oh God. I've kept it a secret from you two, but this is the other side that I've been hiding, and that is Goblin Slayer. Could this one be one of my people?
Yep.
I don't know what that's from, but it's hilarious. Also, the Badonkadonk Slayer, because big boobs. And finally, romance anime is great. Is it really great, or are you just really lonely because you don't have a girlfriend?
Never have I been so angry with something I actually absolutely agree with.
Yep.
That's definitely how the original meme looked, and I didn't make a new one. Good for the Thayliens.
Weebs. Cowboys are the American samurai.
Yeah.
Did you plan this too, Jojo? Tell me.
Is this not yours?
Yes.
Did you save your second one?
Weird.
It should automatically pick
Yeah,
up
I
on
don't-
the thing if you've saved it.
Let's just pause real
Yeah,
quick,
pause.
shall we?
What?
Okay, I'm just making sure it actually resumed, because sometimes we've got it full screen. It's all right. Welcome back.
So we're back.
I think we fixed that. Let's find out, shall we? Ah.
I should warn you, I'm an animal in bed.
Yeah.
Let me and bring me food. I say this is an absolute win.
That's good.
Yep. Yes.
Oh,
Yes!
fuck! No!
People who watch the news will have already seen this, of course. I wouldn't say it's really a meme so much as an advertisement, but unless there's something
Clearly
different.
a meme. This is so a meme. This is like
they turn the light
a
into a
gajillion
sword.
% a meme. I can't believe this exists.
I can. Okay, all right.
I feel
That's
the
gonna get us
proportions
copyright
of this
struck.
are just like
Harley.
horribly wrong.
It's an animal, Harley. You can't. There's no laws against the Pokemon's Batgirl.
Fuck.
I'm not sure if I want to ask. Anyway,
What?
thanks.
It's the reversal of the Joker one.
What?
I've never
It's
seen
the
Joker.
reversal of the one with Batman and the Joker.
Never
I
seen
haven't
it.
seen it, so let's just
And
keep going.
Joker said, I got a little punny, Batman.
Okay.
I start watching a new anime. I find a waifu I love. 0.
Oh no.
Okay.
And this is, I think, number 6 needs a little bit of an introduction
Okay.
because cosplay is very important to anime. And I found the one person whose cosplay is always on point. So
You
let's
found,
bring that in.
The one piece of cosplay. Yes! Yes, this guy! This guy is amazing! This guy is one of the best people out there. And I don't care that that's his butt. It's perfect.
I
Look at that. He's got the mirror set up so you can see it.
Yes,
How did he paint that so well on his back?
someone
Like-
else did it clearly.
Yeah.
Come on. It's just perfect. These moments.
Oh, there's things I wish I'd never seen. Okay. This is my first one. Yeah. So, me in front of the mirror every morning and night. I'm extremely cute.
And you'd be right.
My second one. Visiting relatives be like me every single time. Yep.
Aww.
Yep.
If you have something to say, then just spit it out already.
Yes.
It's not funny. Why am I laughing?
It's so funny. Number 4. You're on trial for murder. Which one of these has the best chance to bullshit you're innocent?
Mr. Satan. Clearly.
Yeah, Mr. Satan. Because he
I
actually set up a multi-million dollar company. Or
I don't
Zenny
know.
company.
King. I mean, fucking king. And, like, he is one of the highest ranking S heroes with no powers whatsoever. He
Just a
just
really
bullshits
loud
his way.
heartbeat.
Oh my god. Right. Where are we? Number 5? There we go. Press any key to continue. And you go, you know, and then just got no escape. And then last but not least.
I think I like the power button almost as much as Xenogelion.
911, what is your emergency? I hear shots! Okay, ma'am, calm down. What kind of shots?
That one's actually from Instagram.
That's ridiculous.
Right, so that is it for the memes. Thank you very much for joining us this week. You have ruined it. I fucking fixed it, and then you fucking ruined it. Right? Anyway, so next week we have some idea of what the topic's going to be. It's going to focus around
anime mythology,
myths and legends in anime.
Yeah.
Yes. Anime representations of mythology and folklore.
Thaylien, did you hear that there's a new 3x3 Eyes manga coming? Yep.
I did not. That's going to be interesting.
Yep.
Is that in the news?
There you go. No, it's not in the news. But I wanted to.
You should have said, "Who knows? Mythology. Maybe go check out the news to find out." That's a perfect segue to get people to go back and watch the news.
There are some other really, really great things in the news. If you haven't watched it already, you should. It's it's a packed episode this week. Got some One Punch Man news even.
Anyway, right. So that's it for this week's episode with Nasuth failing to convince you to go watch the news. Thank you all for watching / listening, and now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai!